Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Meridy here, and I am here with another video in our series for International Scrapbook Day 2024, where I am talking about how to kill your kit when you're just left with scraps of paper and random things like that. And all of the different techniques that I'm showing you today are ways to use up the last little bits of your kit, and all of the kits that I'm working with today are also on sale for this first week of May of 2024. So if you're interested in anything that I'm using here, it's all going to be linked in the description, and you don't need a coupon in the description of this video, and you won't need a coupon code. Just click on the link and it's on sale. So we are just going to jump right in. So today I am working with 3 pictures from Thanksgiving. They're actually like the outtake pictures, and they're kind of funny. I printed them as 3x4 pictures, and I'm just going to kind of trim these apart while I'm talking. And then the kit that I am using today, that I'm using scraps of, is the November Rain Limitless Kit and the November Rain Essentials Kit. I have pieces of both in here. So these kits came with the following things: the Rockefeller Blue Shimmers Spritz, and this Iron Frost Nouveau Glacier Paste, which is really amazing. So I might use some of those, because when you're running out of paper and you're down to scraps, you know, you can create nice backgrounds just using a little mixed media. And since those both came with the kits, I pulled those out. And then I've got some of these Farmstead Harvest Ephemera pieces left. I've got a little of these Floral Bits pieces left. I have both alphas. One came in the Limitless kit, one came in the Essentials kit. And when I'm filming this video, you know, there are still these kits available in the store if you want to pick them up. Like I said, they're on sale. Then I've saved the branding strips off of all my paper. So I'm working with some tiny little branding strips. I've got this little scrap. I've got quite a few of these cut aparts left, and I really do like the pattern on the back side as well. So I think I'm gonna start by just trimming off the remaining little piece of that, because I'm not gonna use this side. So I can use this B side, but then I can decide if I want to use any of these on this side. And then I have this one paper just partial. And that is what I'm going to be working with today. I actually am going to try to just work more with scraps than bigger pieces, because the whole goal of this series today is showing you how to get the most out of your kits when you're just down to scraps. So if I use a piece of this, I'm just going to use a little piece of it. I'm going to set it off to the side now. And then I think I want to pick one of these to use on my layout. I think I will pick Give Thanks Every Day. These are Thanksgiving, and I think that one will be nice to use on this layout. Give Thanks Every Day. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it apart. Okay, and pretend like that is what I'm working with. Now I can use some of these other ones to mat my photos. I can trim my photos down a little. I probably won't use this There's a Chill in the Air on any other layout, because I'm in the desert. Let's see. I could use that, but I might not. Let's just see what I've got without using any of these cards. So I really want to just focus on working from scraps. And I'm going to keep these 2, and I'm going to put the alphabets off to the side for now. So the first thing that I'm going to do is grab a sheet of white cardstock as the base of my layout. And the reason why I'm grabbing white is because I typically reach for white cardstock for the bottom of my layouts, but also I can use some of these mixed media, and they'll show up nicely on this white. And I think I'm gonna take an idea from Janet Madison from RTS Scrapbooking. She has a YouTube channel and a Patreon channel, but so she has lots of videos that are amazing. And she did a series in the past, which I like to often recreate in my own way, that she used border strips, which I'm going to call these border strips, to build up little embellishment clusters on, and then you can embellish the page with these little embellishment clusters. So what I'm going to do, I'm not even going to really worry about my layout yet. I'm gonna make a couple of these border strips and embellish them. And I believe this side is not as usable as this piece. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece down. Okay, I can use that side if I just need to add a little color in somewhere. And all of the rest of these only have patterned paper on one side. So the back side of all of these is just the information about the paper. So I am just going to start by emptying out what's left of these floral bits and emptying out what's left of this ephemera. And we are gonna build little clusters on these. So you'll have to forgive me if you watch Janet regularly and watch her videos regularly. I do watch her videos regularly, but I have not gone back and rewatched any of her videos about this. So it has been years since I have seen her make a video about this, so I might do it different than she does. But the base of basically the idea that I have is coming from her. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this paper into strips also because I think I can use it. It's just the packaging. If you don't like using packaging, I'm gonna cut them about 1 inch wide. If you don't like using packaging, you could totally use another scrap of paper to do, just cut into smaller pieces. And I'm not even sure if I'm gonna use all these, I just wanna have them ready. And the gist of what we're doing here is just kind of making built up little embellishments using strips of paper. And I don't want them to be 12 inches long. I don't want mine to be 12 inches long. I want them to be a little shorter, so I'm cutting off about 3 inches off the end. I'm gonna work with this to start with. And I am just going to layer up a few things how I want it. Okay, so I've just got a few little layers going on. I have no plan in mind, guys, whatsoever right now. I'm just gonna start adhering things because otherwise I could rearrange and rearrange and rearrange these pieces all day long and make a million different combinations. So I'm just going to start adhering and go with it. So we've got this little strip, and then we're just gonna add a few embellishments into a cluster. So we can start with gather, and I have a lot of pieces here. So I'm just gonna start going with them. I haven't even looked at these in a really long time either. This says gather with a grateful heart, which actually, let me grab my papers or my pictures. That could go great with my pictures. Now the idea is that I make a couple strips and I use them to embellish my layout like this. So I might want to do one going horizontal instead of vertical. I mean vertical instead of horizontal. So that's how I'm gonna decide how to make these. Because you can make the border strips either go horizontal or vertical. Let's see, if I make it go horizontal, which is the way I lean towards when I'm thinking of border, like decorated border strips, in my mind, think of them as being horizontal, not vertical. So maybe I can configure those pictures to fit with horizontal ones. So I'm gonna keep it horizontal because to me, that is what works easier for me. So we've got a piece there, and then we're just gonna kind of find other pieces. I'm gonna really spread these out so I can show you what I'm working with. In different sizes, some pieces will need to be small, some pieces will need to be medium size, and some pieces will need to be large to give this a nice, good variety. Let's see here. And it's really just a matter of picking and choosing pieces. I'm thinking I might want to organize my ephemera pieces here into piles of small, medium, and large so that it's easier for me to get a wide variety. So maybe we'll do that in a minute here. I probably will turn off the camera to do that part. It might just be a lot easier to make them into small, medium, and large groupings. Like I would consider these small pieces, small piece, small piece, medium. These are large. Okay. So you might want to go through that and group into small, medium, and large pieces. So you can just pick a couple pieces that are working. And let's not forget that we have all of these as well. What does this say? It's the most pumpkining season of all. Fall days are the best days. These come apart. I do like the little love this. Put that one on there. And it's just a matter of piling up a variety of pieces and making a little cluster using your border strips. And that can make a really good impact when you get 2 or 3 of these on a layout. It will make a really big impact on your page, and it won't look like you're just working with tiny little scraps and a few embellishments that are left over. And I'm setting some off to the side here that I'm thinking I want to use on the next cluster that I make. Yes. Let's see, this says give thanks. I think I like that on that one. And really, I think I need I need a little flowers in here. I would like a floral piece. So, yeah, I've got this one right here I would consider to be large. So at least I've got one large element in here. Oh, I kind of like that. And then you kind of have to balance it out. Like you've got a big element over there, so put a couple small elements over here. So I'm gonna start adhering these things down just because, like I said, we could sit here all day and make a million different combinations of things if we wanted to. And I don't want to do that. I want to get these adhered down so we can actually, you know, put them on our layout. And then pop this underneath there. And I don't know, you know, I do know that when I first started, you obviously saw me make sure that I wanted this to be horizontal instead of vertical. But other than that, I don't have a plan with my pictures, how this is gonna sit on them or anything like that. I am gonna put this little love this up with foam tape. I'm just trying to basically use up pieces when I am down to the very end of my kit. And there are a lot of pieces of embellishments left here. Sometimes when I'm working with a kit, I won't have nearly this much embellishments to choose from, but I feel like you could still easily do this, even if you only have, you know, 15 little pieces of embellishments, let's say. I think I want to put this little guy. Oh, he blends in too much with that. Let's use a darker one. This little heart. Okay, and I'm gonna pop him up on foam tape too, just to add a little bit of dimension in here. And then from here, I'm gonna move on and make another one of these little clusters on my border strips. And this is just a good way to use up scraps, like I was saying. So we'll move this off to the side. And then the next one, I think I'm gonna do a little strip in the background and put the embellishment maybe on the other end instead of on the left-hand side. And let's see which of these I can use. I kind of don't want to use the black one necessarily. I think I should use another one of these base pieces because that will kind of tie them together. So I think that's a good idea. I can use a little of this blue that I cut off the end of that. Let me see if I want a little green on here, because I do have some green in my pictures. There's some green in here. Does that look good on green? I think it will. Okay, so I am gonna make, I'm just gonna start putting stuff. And again, I don't want it to be 12 inches long. So I'm cutting the edges off. Slide this right down the middle. And I'm just trying not to think too hard about this. Okay, got a bunch of little scraps there. And then maybe I can stick a little out from the top and slice this in half and a little out from the bottom. That might look kind of cool. And then I can put some kind of tag from over here covering up the middle. Let's see what tags we've got. So very thankful, but that's kind of hard to read on the vellum on all of that pattern. That's too much. Too much. Oh, I've got this thankful for you, and I can cut it down if I wanted to do that. I am thankful for, let's see, what other various pieces do we have over here? I kind of like this because I feel like I can layer it up with a variety of other little pieces. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. I'm cutting this in half. Half is gonna go on the top, half is gonna go on the bottom, so it looks like it's behind the whole thing. I'm gonna put this guy in here. Give thanks. I'm not sure if I'm gonna use the blessings on this one. We can put it off to the side for now. Let's see. This little tag will look cute under here. And again, I'm trying to find all different sizes. I'm just seeing if it might look better moved around, but I kind of like it directly under. Let me move this up a little so everyone can see good. Okay, and then I think I need a couple little doodads. Got these tiny little tags too. Okay, I'm gonna start adhering things down so that I can just get some sort of design going. And I want to make sure I have this in a good place before I adhere it down. I kind of like this tag hanging out and reaching out off the bottom. So I'm gonna keep that. Doing that. Okay, I do like these two overlapping each other. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep it just like that, and I'm gonna add foam tape to this Give Thanks. And if I wanted to make another cluster, I could. You don't even have to keep it quite this long. It could be a tiny one that I'm gonna I might need to come back in and make another little cluster when I start getting these things set on my layout. I just don't know until I try it. So I think I need a little guy sticking up in there. That'll be cute. Okay. And you can make these little clusters using branding strips and scraps, even if you don't even have a layout in mind for them yet, because this could look really nice on any fall page. Nope, I don't want that in there. Okay, let me scoop all this stuff off and let's start playing with these on the layout. You know, before I end, I'm gonna embellish this a little bit so this can be like a third cluster. No, I'm not. I'm gonna keep this in case I need to embellish this to be a third cluster when I get all of the items on that other layout, on the other side. So I'm just gonna pick a couple of pieces that I can use if I need to. And I don't have to use them if they're not fitting and looking right. Okay, so I'm still leaving my scraps up here ready in case I need them. I'm still leaving the little embellishments. I've got a few things pulled out if I need to build up my little card right here, my mixed media. These are some of the scraps that I had, and let's get this whole entire layout over here. Okay, so now I've got these clusters that I made. And I'm gonna have to try to lay them out with my layout. And I don't know which one I want on top or on the bottom. So I'm just kind of arranging things and sliding pictures where I can. There is a lot on this layout already, so I don't even know, you know, I might not even be able to fit too much more. Kind of like that over there though. Okay, and then I've got it. I like when my pictures, I don't like when people are looking out off the edge of my layout. So I'm gonna switch that picture up with this picture because now they're looking in somewhat. Okay, and then I think, I don't like that these two are directly on top of one another. So I'm gonna try to arrange a way to not do that. But I also don't want to cover up the people in the picture with this card, that kind of defeats the purpose of scrapbooking. Okay. Now, I like the layout. I like what I have. It obviously came together real fast because these two clusters right here just make the whole layout basically. So I'm wondering if I even need to build a cluster up on this or if it's just gonna take away from it. So let's see how that would look. Let's pretend like I'm building a cluster up here. It's kind of making it very heavy on that side, so I'm not digging that. Yeah, I don't think I need all of these things. Maybe a little. Gather together, that looks pretty. I don't need that. I think a tiny little small floral sprig sticking out of there might look good. That's still kind of too big. Luckily, I have quite a bit to play with. I don't need the mushrooms, I don't think. Of course, I put them all back in here, so now I've got to dig them all back out. I don't like that one. Oh, what is this? That's pretty. I don't need that whole stick with it. I just can have the leaves. And maybe stick a flower on top of that to cover up that stick. I wonder if there's another color flower. Okay, I think I like that. I don't even think I need to use any of the mixed media in the background because I think it will muddle everything up. I can use this little pumpkin somewhere here to go with this. So the little tiny things. And matting my photos. Let's see. Let me clean all this up real quick. I think I can mat my photos on this color. And I do have another little scrap of this, I think, that is big enough to mat the third photo on. So I am going to go ahead and mat my photos on this paper right here. And after I matted those, it leaves me a couple more little scraps to make more of these little border strip, embellished border strips. So I'm just gonna adhere everything on the layout, and it's gonna be real easy because most of it is already adhered together. So this won't be too difficult at all, since these chunks are already in big pieces. So I will get the rest of this adhered down and I will be right back. Okay, now all I have left is this area that I did not make a cluster out of. So let me just get that down. Get this down. And then I might add a couple little splatters, of course. If you watch my videos in the past, you know how much I love splatters. And so sometimes I can't resist those. I'm gonna put the gather together up on foam tape just to add a little. I'm also gonna put this flower up on foam tape and this little pumpkin tag up on foam tape. So everything has a little bit of dimension to it. Okay. There we go. And I think, so I still have all these little bits of paper. I can still make plenty more layouts very similar to this one, especially if I'm using them in different albums. Like, you'll never know that there's a very similar layout using similar strips and similar pieces of ephemera. But this is a great way to use up really tiny paper scraps and to use up, if you've got quite a bit of ephemera left of your kit, my splatters. I'm not sure if I want to do them in this blue color. I'm going to test this off to the side and see. It might be a little too, I don't know. I need to remember. I don't even remember what this shade looks like. I need it to dry. It is a pretty good shade, but I think I want to use gold splatters because this is a fall layout and I think it needs a little more of this gold that I've got going on here. So I'm going to go grab some gold splatters. I think this is more the look I want to go for. Yeah, I definitely want to use the gold splatters. So I'm going to go ahead and cover up my pictures so I don't splatter on them. And then I'm going to splatter. And I don't want to go too crazy, just maybe a little there. A little there. I say I don't want to go too crazy, and then I keep adding more. But I really think that that is all I want to add. Let's see what we've got. Yes, I like it. I like just a little splatter basically near each embellishment cluster. And then I think the very final step that I want to do, let's see how this is drying. It's drying pretty light. I'm not going to add any more blue splatters. I'm going to save those for another layout, but I do want to outline around this layout. I could mat it on a piece of solid cardstock. Let me see something real quick. I wonder what it would look like matted on this. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use this as a frame, not really a mat. Let me show you how I'm going to do that. Rather, because this is not 12 inches by 12 inches. It's only 12 inches long and probably 11 inches tall. So I cannot mat the whole layout on it. But what I can do is cut 4 1/4 inch, so just really narrow strips off of the 12-inch side. So each of these strips is going to be 12 inches long, and I'm going to just cut 4 of them. I'm going to cut them narrow, like approximately 1/4 inch, maybe a tiny bit wider than 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch is really, really tiny. So I'm cutting 4 of those, and I'm going to make a frame around this layout with them. So I'm just going to, I'm not going to put adhesive all the way up to the corner. I'm staying away from the corners for now. For now, I'm just putting adhesive down the side. I'm going to adhere these all to the corners, or to the edges. I'm going to do this to all 4 edges, okay? And do not, I'm not putting adhesive on the bottom or the top, because what we're going to do, the final step, to make it look really nice and finished. So I'm going to go off camera and add these to the other 3 sides. Okay, so I've got my paper all the way to the edges, and I'm going to take my scissors. I'm just going to miter the edge. So I'm just going to cut in, get both of those little thin strips of paper under the scissors. since you didn't adhere them down, and just cut from the corner in. And it makes a perfectly mitered corner. I'm gonna show you this close up to the camera. It makes a perfectly mitered corner. Okay, so you're gonna do that to all 4 corners. Just cut. And then you can come in there at the end there and you can get some adhesive and lightly put adhesive under those little ends that you didn't adhere down previously so that they're not lifting up. And then your layout is nice and framed with mitered corners that line up perfectly because you didn't cut them till after you laid them down. And you can do this technique right here if you have a 1-inch wide strip of 12 inches long paper. So just a 1-inch wide scrap. You can essentially mat your layout, but it's framing your layout instead of matting your layout. And then I'm just gonna come in here and put a little adhesive so those ends aren't lifting up bad. Okay, and I will do that on all 4 sides. And there is the completed layout. Thank you guys for watching. You can come back in a few hours and there will be another layout on our channel with tips how to use up the last remaining bits and pieces and scraps from your kits so that you really get the a full amount of layouts out of each kit. And you can look in the link or in the descriptions for the links of the supplies I used. And don't forget, all of these kits are going to be on sale for the first week of May of 2024 in honor of International Scrapbook Day. So have a good day, guys. Thank you. Bye.